I promise not to show you any of my cases with a rectum involved. My gosh, that's some great cases. I've learned a lot this session. Very good. So we're going to get to some poll questions now. So this is the last one before we break. So here we go. So how many of you have changed your OR location in the last year? You're operating somewhere new. No one. 1, 2. Okay. How many of you are working with new staff in your OR? Okay, wow, that sucks. How many of you are working with traveling circulators nurses? Okay. How many of you are working with the same staff for the last 5 years? Okay, so some lucky souls. Good. What is your caseload doing this year? I mean, we're seeing all the numbers, right? Looks like the numbers are up, right, Rob Cohen? Numbers are up, looking good. Is this what we're seeing? Are you guys seeing, who's doing more cases this year than last year? Who's doing the same? Who's doing less? Nobody's doing less. Joel's doing less. Joel's the only one less. Okay, how has your efficiency changed? Are you getting more efficient in your OR? Yes. No. And about the same. Yeah. Okay. Are you struggling with SPD or sterilization in your hospital or ASC? Okay. Does anybody really like their SPD? Yeah, you're fine with it, huh? Okay, good. How many of you have tried a new implant this year? Oh, maybe quarter? You have? Have you tried a new implant company this year? Yeah, 10, 15%. How many of you have tried a new technology in the OR this year? New technology. That's pretty good. That's impressive. About 50%. What kind of technology was it? Navigation. Who's tried some kind of new kind of hip navigation? Okay. A new sensor. We had a sensor talk. Nah, sensors are out. Any AI that you're using new in the clinic or OR? 1. Huh. Smart implants? No? Robots. New robots. Okay. Very good. All right. How satisfied are you with the current technology you're using? Who's very satisfied with the technology they're using? They're like, man, this is it. I love it. Okay, who's unsatisfied? All right. You all right? You got a chair there. You want to talk with me? You good?
I'll ask a question. How many of you have ever been in Belgium? You should all come. Have good beers.
Who is satisfied? So I want you guys to reflect on yourselves, how you change over time, not just how you're looking now. Some of you are looking fatter. Some of you are looking skinnier. Some are got more gray hair. But I want you to reflect on where you sit on this curve when it comes to your operating room. I want you to reflect on that. Where are you? How many early adopters are there? All right. Early majority, play it a little safer. Faculty, late majority. Nobody wants to admit a late majority. Really? How about laggards? No self-proclaimed laggards. Wow, this is amazing. So if you're doing anything the same as you did it 5 years ago, you have to ask yourself the question, why? Literally anything you're doing the same 5 years ago. Anybody? What are you doing the same? Faculty, what are you doing the same? Anterior approach, okay. Anterior path, different. Anything the same? 5 years. How about what we say to our patients? What are you saying differently to your patients now that you didn't 5 years ago? Is your spiel the exact same? We all have our spiel. We all say just about no, it's different, huh? Okay. How about this? Are you putting in the same implant you put in 5 years ago? Okay, sure, we'll ask. How many are putting in the same implant they did 5 years ago? How many are putting a different implant in? It's pretty telling. Interesting, huh? We'll keep going here. Courage, that's what I want to talk about for the next few minutes. We all have different definitions. I like this one, to speak one's mind by telling all of one's heart.
Somewhere along the way, you stop improving. And I thought about that, and I realized that was exactly what had happened to me as a surgeon. I'd entered practice in 2003, and for the first several years, it was just this steady upward improvement in my learning curve. I watched my complication rates drop from 1 year to the next, and after about 5 years, they leveled out. And a few more years after that, I realized I wasn't getting any better anymore. And I thought, is this as good as I'm going to get?
So is this as good as you're going to get? Where are the residence fellows? Have they already gone to the casinos? No? Okay, some are still here. You guys are going to get better. Who's been in practice for 10 years or longer? All right. You guys feel like we're still getting better? What do you think? Do not go gently. I say this in my OR every day.
Always fresh.
You guys remember this commercial, the residence fellows one? I feel like sometimes this is in my OR, like, I'm doing another hip. Same way again. Time to make the donuts is what I say in my OR all the time. Time to make the donuts, right? But it takes some courage, right? Ernest Codman, MGH. Give me something different, for there is a chance of it being better. We know about this 10,000 filaments before you nailed the light bulb. We know about this, right? Who's this? Roger Bannister, right? What did they tell Roger Bannister? What's going to happen if you break 4 minutes? So he literally said in an interview after he collapsed, he thought he was going to die, because that was the general consensus of the time, right? Sports, like all of life, is about taking your chances.
Come on, he says. Eliud Kipchoge has the hand of
Who saw
history
this
on
live?
his
Anybody
shoulder.
seen this live?
He
Pretty crazy
has
for the runners out here.
less than 200 meters to go. Eliud Kipchoge, let's keep an eye on the clock, into the final.
Anybody
20
know what his
seconds.
mile pace
Eliud
was for this?
Kipchoge. Whoa! On his shoulder, 140,
Yeah, 4:55.
140, the unofficial time.
Can you imagine that? Running
Eliud Kipchoge.
a mile in 4:55, 26 times? Unbelievable. He said, change in the life of a human being or any profession is really important. Change. Darwin, we know this one already. Who's this? Another one that said it can't be done. Yeah, another sir. You British doctors, we got a bunch of British doctors here. Put a lot of sirs in front of your names. I think the really good mountaineer is the man with the technical ability of the professional and with the enthusiasm and freshness of the approach of the amateur. And that's a challenge for a lot of us in this room now with gray hair, right? And that's the courage that made the Wright brothers think they could do what no one else could do, right? I look with amazement upon our audacity in attempting flights with a new and untried machine. Courage. John Charnley, 10% infection rates. When I went to Wrightington, I was amazed. 10% infection rates. Can you imagine that? Who wouldn't quit after a 10% infection rate? I'd quit. No way I'd keep going, right? Where's Joel? Is he here? Doggone, that guy is in the bathroom. Think about how long Joel had to listen to this, right? And how he was vindicated at the most recent AUKUS, right? So have the courage, try new approaches. Yeah, that means even the posterior approach. Where's the posterior approach guys here? There we go, there's a few of you. Try new instruments, try new implants, try new technology, new robots. What are you using in your OR that you personally helped develop? That you personally developed, right? We lean on these guys all the time, right, to develop these things. Why are we leaning on them, right? We need to develop these things ourselves, and these are some of the surgeons we had from Shark Tank last year, and you're going to see a lot more in the next session, right? These are all surgeons that said, well, I can develop something. We call those the tinkerers, right? We orthopedic surgeons, we love to tinker. We love to change things, right? Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs took apart his Walkman. You know who this is? Huh? Anybody? What's that? Bill Gates? Nope. Amazon? Bezos. This is Bezos. Bezos took apart his crib. He took apart his entire crib. He was a tinkerer.
You also must be the kind of person who is not concerned if everyone around you thinks you're crazy.
Right? Courage. What do I think our greatest opportunity is? It's the non-consumption of technology in hip arthroplasty. Non-consumption. That's our greatest opportunity. What do I mean by that? That means all these different surgeons that happen to put in these different implants, 90% of us use no technology when we put it in. Right? This is an innovation symposium today, right? 90% of us don't use this crap. Right? That's a big opportunity, right? 2023, can you believe that? That means we're not impressed. What you're making, we're not impressed with, or what you have not developed, not impressed with, right? The technology isn't compelling enough. There's cost concerns. Maybe we're old school. But there's evidence all around us of this non-consumption of technology in our hip arthroplasty world. And unfortunately, in 2023, no offense to all those who are involved in this, it still sucks in large respects, right? Think about all that we have changed in technology since Charnley put in the first total hip. This is what it looked like. Look at all this innovation. Now think about your OR and how much innovation has really happened. Not all that impressive, right? So what's the evidence? Over-engineered technology. I wanted to offend everyone here. I included them all, right? Over-engineered. It's a dumb arm that holds something in place. Right? Absolutely disruptive. Kudos to those who thought the robot would work. Absolutely disruptive, right? Brilliant. It still sucks. Right? Rob's perfect. It's perfect. It still sucks. Why is that? It takes time to get better and better and better, right? 2.0 takes time. These little things will change over time to make things better. Pretty soon we're not going to have to do this crap, right? Get rid of that. Too much time, right? What's the second bit of evidence? Surgeon emotions. How elated are you when you use a robot? Are you elated? You know, I call it the holy cow moment. Like, wow, the religious experience, the wow. I think it's probably more like this. I'm either frustrated or generally content with it, right? The fact is we're still bored, right? How many of you are excited about still using fluoroscopy? Okay, you're still excited. I love it. Surgeon talk over action. You know, lots of pictures with surgeons in front of robots, right? And then the last one, in search of a customer.
There's a lot of technology in search of a customer. You know, in other words, a lot of companies do things because it's technically possible, but in the end, nobody cares. Nobody wants to buy them.
The non-consumption of technology. We just have to be paying attention to it, right? Who's read this book? Everyone take your phones out, take a picture of this thing. Rick Rubin's. It's awesome. Rob, have you seen it? You got to read it. Unbelievable. Look for what you notice, but no one else sees. The magic is not in the analyzing of the understanding. The magic lives in the wonder of what we do not know. The imagination has no limits. The physical world does. The work exists in both. So what do we do as orthopedic surgeons? We fix things, right? We see this x-ray and say, aha, I know what to do with this, right? Sweet. That is super satisfying. We fix things, right? Same thing here. We fix things. right? And it's great because we get to work on this unbelievable crown of creation that is the human body, right? That can replicate, that can repair, evolve, grow, love. I mean, this is an amazing thing we get to operate on. Look at the human heart, 100,000 times a day, right? Look at these synapses, 50,000 thoughts we have a day. Unbelievable, this creation that we get to operate on. But it's not perfect, right? And that's when we step in. We step in when it's not perfect. Things break down and we fix them, right? Still 18 million cardiac deaths a year. Are you kidding me? 20% of the population has mental health issues that we need to fix, right? Lots of hips out there you and I need to fix, right? And our fixing is about getting it back to normal again, right? We want to get things back to normal for patients, right? We think about a total knee or a total hip, right? How close do we get with the total knee? So unsatisfying, isn't it? Gosh, we suck at total knees. We just do, right? Now, okay, we're a lot better. Okay, we're close on hips, right? But do we need to think about this differently? Do we need to think about, instead of fixing things, amplifying? Can we get better than normal?
I remember reading an article when I was about 12 years old, I think it might have been in Scientific American, where they measured the efficiency of locomotion for all these species on planet Earth. How many kilocalories did they expend to get from point A to point B? And the condor won, came in at the top of the list, surpassed everything else, and humans came in about a third of the way down the list, which was not such a great showing for the crown of creation. And but somebody there had the imagination to test the efficiency of a human riding a bicycle. Human riding a bicycle blew away the condor, all the way off the top of the list. And it made a really big impression on me that we humans are tool builders, and that we can fashion tools that amplify these inherent abilities that we have to spectacular magnitudes. And so for me, a computer has always been a bicycle of the mind.
So why is our goal always to get back to normal? Amplification, I think, makes sense. So this is my car. Look at all the information my car tells me. My car tells me all kinds of information, cool stuff that I need to know about, right? Well, why can't our bodies tell us that? Really? Why can't they, right? Why can't we think about amplifying? Why can't it tell us these things that we think about, right? That we've talked about in theory for the longest time, right? Why can't a hip tell me all these things that we're listing here? Why can't we amplify? Instead of fixing that hip, why can't we amplify it? Make it even better than it was before, right? And there's tons of great movies out here showing the possibilities, what's possible, and how we should think about it. Certainly room for improvement. Certainly Elon Musk and Neuralink is a perfect example.
In a lot of ways, it's kind of like a Fitbit in your skull with tiny wires.
Don't you love this guy? Fitbit in your skull. Everybody's going to do that one, right?
We are all already cyborgs in a way, in that your phone and your computer are extensions of yourself. And I'm sure you found, like, if you leave your phone behind, you end up tapping your pockets, and it's like having missing limb syndrome. Leaving your phone behind is kind of like a missing limb at this point. You're so used to interfacing with it. You're so used to being a de facto cyborg.
It's so true, right? This is how we
Metal
should
is an
think about
alloy
hips.
called adamantium, supposedly indestructible.
Why can't we make the human
Surgically
body
grafted to
better?
his entire skeleton.
Why do we just have to fix it, get it back to normal? Why
How
can't we
could
make
he
it better?
The overarching goal of Neuralink is to create ultimately a whole brain interface, a generalized input-output device that in the long term literally could interface with every aspect of your brain. And
so we're seeing these smart implants being put in now, but I would suggest now that we as hip surgeons in the future are not just going to fix and get back to normal. We're going to now amplify and improve what the human body could do before. Thank you very much.